The carburetor gasket and diaphragm kit includes the gaskets, reed valves, and the diaphragm. It allows you to rebuild the carburetor reusing its metal components. The carburetor can be plugged by debris or corrosion. When this occurs, you will need to disassemble the carburetor and carefully clean it. The kit includes the parts of the carburetor that require maintenance or that might be damaged during disassembly, such as the gaskets. Installing the gasket and diaphragm kit in your carburetor is a repair that you can do yourself, and I'm going to show you how. I'll begin by removing the air filter cover from the air filter base. The cover is secured with a wing nut. I'll go ahead and remove it. And now I can remove the cover. Now I can remove the air filter, and I have access to the screws that secure the base and the carburetor. I'll go ahead and remove the screws. I'll remove the base. And I'll remove the linkage from the carburetor. Next, I need to remove the fuel lines from the carburetor. I'll note the location of each of the lines. Also, you'll either need to drain the fuel from the tank or clamp off the lines before removing the carburetor. With the carburetor removed, now I can disassemble it into its components. I'll begin by removing the purge bulb retainer. It's secured with 4 screws. These same screws also secure the plastic body. As I take the components apart, I'll lay them out in the same order that I removed them. This is useful when you go to reassemble to make sure you get everything in the correct order. The retainer and purge bulb. Now the base. I'll remove the diaphragm and diaphragm gasket. And separate the diaphragm from the gasket. Inside the carburetor, I'll remove the screw that secures the metering needle and lever. Now I'll turn the carburetor over and work on the other side. On this side, I'll remove the gasket and reed valve and separate the two. Inside the carburetor body, there's a screen filter. I'll go ahead and remove it with a pick. With the carburetor disassembled, now it's time to clean its major components. There's a few ways you can do this. You can use carburetor cleaner, or I like to use brake cleaner, to spray through all of the carburetor's tiny passages. If you use this method, I like to spray some of the cleaner in, let it sit for a couple of minutes, and then spray some additional cleaner. Never insert any kind of a metal pick inside of any of the openings, as they can be easily damaged. It is okay to use something soft like fishing line to help clean the smallest openings. Another method, and my preferred method, is an ultrasonic cleaner. The ultrasonic uses high-frequency sound waves through a water and detergent mixture. It works the best to clean the tiny passages inside of the carburetor. Whichever method you use, clean, Rinse if you're using the ultrasonic, rinse with water, and then blow out all the passages with compressed air. Once it's been cleaned, you're ready to reassemble. Here I have the parts from the gasket kit. I'll take each part and swap it out for the part it's replacing. The diaphragm gasket, the reed valve gasket, and the reed valve. You'll notice the kit comes with 2 different reed valves, and that's because over time the manufacturer might change which style it uses. In this case, the carburetor uses the Mylar type material, so I'll include that one from the kit. I'll discard the rubber version. Now I can reassemble the carburetor. I'll start with the internal filter. I'll place it over the carburetor body and then use one of the screws to carefully push it into the opening. Now I'll place the reed valve onto the body, making sure I align it with the openings and the screw openings. Next, the gasket and the cover. And I'll secure the cover with the screws. I'll turn the carburetor over and install the metering needle. I'll place the spring into the recess. I'll assemble the hinge pin into the lever and hang the metering needle on the end of the lever. And I'll place this assembly into the carburetor. And I'll secure it with the screw. Now reinstall the diaphragm. First, the diaphragm gasket, then the diaphragm with the metal piece pointing down towards the carburetor. Now I'll place the purge bulb base over the top of the diaphragm, reinstall the purge bulb, the retainer, and secure everything together with the screws. And now the carburetor is ready to be reinstalled. First, I'll reattach the fuel lines. The incoming fuel line and the purge line. I'll reinstall the air filter base and the carburetor gasket. And now I can secure this assembly to the engine. And I'll reattach the throttle cable. I'll reinstall the air filter and the cover. And now you know how to install a gasket and diaphragm kit in your small engine.